You know, when you look outside and see that haze in the sky, we often just think of it as dust, but what are we actually breathing? Well, today we're diving into a really groundbreaking investigation in Oman that's trying to answer that exact question, but on a massive national scale.
So it really all boils down to this one single, powerful question. Beyond the dust you can see, what are the invisible particles that people across Oman are breathing in every single day? And to get those answers, well, the nation has launched one of the most comprehensive air quality studies the region has ever seen. This thing is a huge deal.
All right, so what is this project? It's officially called the Oman National Air Pollution Analysis Project, and it's a major team-up between Oman's Environment Authority and the German University of Technology. You might know it as GUtech.
Their goals are super clear. They want to analyze those tiny, invisible particles, the ones scientists call PM₂.₅ and PM₁ that can get deep into your lungs. They need to figure out where they're coming from. Is it natural dust, or is it from industry? And then they'll use all that info to clean up the air and, most importantly, protect everybody's health. To do this right, they are casting an incredibly wide net. I mean, they're collecting samples right in the middle of bustling cities like Muscat. And they're also setting up shop right next to the big industrial centers like Sohar and Duqm, where you'd obviously expect emissions to be a key factor. But get this, they're even going way out into the country's remote mountains and deserts. This is all to make sure they get a complete, totally comprehensive picture of the air across the entire nation.
Okay, so how on earth do you actually turn a bit of desert dust and city smog into data you can actually use? Well, the science behind it is pretty fascinating.
They've basically broken it down into 3 simple steps. First, you have teams on the ground collecting the actual air samples. Second, those samples get whisked away to a lab for some serious chemical analysis. And finally, this is the cool part, they use powerful models to trace that pollution all the way back to its original source. And the toolkit they're using is seriously high-tech. We're talking everything from portable sampling gear out in the field to these super advanced computer models. These models can basically work backward, almost like rewinding time, to follow a pollutant through the atmosphere and figure out exactly where it came from. But look, this isn't just about collecting numbers for the sake of science. The whole point is to use this information to make a direct, positive impact on people's everyday lives. This is where we get to the key concept, something called source apportionment. Honestly, the best way to think about it is like environmental detective work. It's using all that science to pinpoint the exact culprit, whether it's cars on the highway, a specific factory, or just a natural dust storm. And having that knowledge, it is a total game changer. You move from a world of unknown health risks to being able to give people targeted health alerts. And instead of just reacting with regulations, the government can create policies that are based on actual, solid evidence. Because at the end of the day, the really big goal here is to be able to put a number on the health risks. By knowing exactly what's in the air and where it's from, they can do a much better job of protecting people from respiratory and cardiovascular problems.
And this isn't some project happening in a vacuum either. The whole effort feeds directly into Oman's Vision 2040, which is the country's huge long-term plan for a sustainable and healthy future.
So, what's the ultimate payoff from all this work? Well, it's huge. We're talking about a national air quality database for everyone, much smarter controls on the biggest polluters, realistic emissions targets for industries, and public health advice that could genuinely save lives. It's the foundation for a much cleaner future. Which leaves us with one final big question to think about. With this incredible level of data, how will Oman not only clear its air, but completely reshape the future for both its environment and its people?